So what's going on, guys? It's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today I'm making a video I didn't think I'd actually make because I wasn't expecting to do as well as I've done. And if you can't tell by the title, we've got Elite 1 with 36 wins, my best ever finish in FUT Champions. Believe me when I say this, I was very unlucky not to get top 100 this week, and that's mental to say. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I've done differently this week, you know, how I won more games than I usually do, how I, kept my consistency throughout the 40 games. But before we get into that, guys, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and also turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. Not gonna lie, guys, I am extremely happy with how this weekend league went. Like 36 wins is just ludicrous to me. I never usually get anywhere near that, even though I've got Elite 1 twice this year. I just haven't seemed to get anywhere near it recently. So it was a nice surprise to me, and I felt like it was coming because I played a lot of FIFA this week. You know, I played the Gfinity tournament. I was trying my absolute best to improve. And believe me when I say this, I could have ended up on 39 wins this week. There was 2 penalty shootouts that I lost. You know, where you kick the ball and it just like when your opponent kicks the ball and it goes under your goalkeeper even though you've dived the right way. That happened a couple of times. And then my penalty hits off both posts, you know, all that kind of rubbish. So we lost 2 penalty shootouts which you could have won. Both of those games we also dominated, but we didn't finish off our chances. I don't know why, I didn't do anything differently, but yeah, we didn't score enough goals. And one of the games I just lost by 1 goal in the last minute of the game, so that was unlucky as well. And one of the games I just got beaten. So again, I didn't record much of this gameplay because I was expecting a chill weekend this week. Like, honestly, I wasn't planning on making many videos, but you know, when I started going 34, and I think it was 34 and 3 I was at one point, I was like, I might as well turn on the recorder for the last few games because I'm playing well. I'm sure some of you guys will be interested to see it. So what you can see in this gameplay here is me setting up into the 4-2-3-1, where I've actually made a bit of a change, which you might have seen. I put my wide cams to stay forward, which I never normally do, and the reason I did that was because it seems to have a much better effect when counter-attacking, especially against the guys which have high press, because when you do catch them out you have 4 players on the attack ready to pounce, and it works very well against the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow because obviously that formation is narrow and you've just got 2 wide players ready to go. The main difference between this weekend and many other weekends where I failed is I kept very calm this weekend, and I don't often do that. I don't know why I kept so calm, but even when I was losing games I was just like, I've got this, you know, I feel like I'm the better player, and I'm not sure if that's because I've been playing Gfinity tournaments where I've done, you know, quite well, so I think I'm, you know, a decent player and it's got my confidence up, or if I just have an attitude change, I don't know. But no matter how BS the goals were, believe me, there was some absolutely horrendous goals that went against me. I just dealt with it and I got myself back into games, and I felt like that helped me massively. If you want to know what I mean by one of my BS goals, there was a shot that my opponent took and it bounces off the crossbar into my goalkeeper onto the post. And then my centre-back runs onto the ball, runs it into his own net, and then decides to clear it as the ball's just gone over the line. Oh my gosh. It was painful, okay? There was even a game where I was 3-0 down, and I managed to come back. And it's just because I stayed composed. The goals I conceded, I knew my opponent wasn't that great, and I know that's quite a cocky thing to say, or an arrogant thing to say, but you can tell when your opponent is not good because he was you know, running his defenders out of line. The shots he took, the ones that went in, they weren't exactly brilliant, so I knew he just had a lot of fortune, and as soon as that goes, I feel like I could have beat him, and it was exactly how it went multiple times. I definitely felt a massive improvement in my gameplay because of the fact I stayed so calm. So if you guys are struggling, I suggest trying to regain your composure when you are losing in games, because that's really the only way you can, get these top ranks, because there are going to be like many games where you concede the first goal, and that's what people have got to accept. That's what I have to accept at times. Like, I'm not always going to score the first goal. My opponent's sometimes going to get lucky goals, whatever. You have to deal with it. You have to come back. If you're a good player, if you're an elite player, you should be able to come back. I experimented a hell of a lot with the offside trap this weekend, and the reason being is because often I do like to have my, pressure low as a whole, so I don't get caught out so much. I like to have that deep line at times. But when your opponent plays really passive in his own half, like he's okay just to keep the ball in his own half, I use not high pressure, I use offside trap to, up the defensive line up to the halfway line, so he really has nowhere to go. So my team is really pressing on him so that he eventually loses the ball, and I have an amazing chance on goal. And it contributed to a lot of my goals this weekend, and also, getting free kicks from literally catching them out with an offside trap. And a lot of the time it is risky, and you might see me get caught out with it in this game, but it's a really effective trick if you know how to use it, in my opinion. Because it stops you from having to have your pressure on high all the time. So like your defensive line is really high, but it allows you to have your low defensive line, which you want, and allows you to push forward when you want to. So that's why I like to use it. I really tried to up my unpredictability this weekend, whether it was switching out formation, switching up my tricks down the line, occasionally cutting back and occasionally just carrying on running, because, quite often when you do run down the wing, people expect to cut back. So sometimes you can literally just carry on running and you have a clear pass into the box where you can just get an easy tap in. I used a lot more scoop turns this weekend, a lot more heel to heel flicks, just because they're so effective, and even if your opponent reads them, it's very hard to stop them. Like, I often know that people are going to do the skills to me, but I still can't stop them. It's like when people do that, the run over free kick where they like run over the ball. Like, where they're going, but you still can't stop it for some reason. What a goal that was. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm learning to abuse the in-game mechanics a lot more to gain an advantage over my opponent. I was a lot less stubborn when it came to formations this weekend. Like, I didn't just stick with the one formation throughout the whole weekend, because if I was being beaten when I was using the 4-2-3-1 like last weekend, I had no other option. So I practiced using the 4-3-1-2 and the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, so I had another option when I was being beaten. Personally, I find switching formations to be a very effective way of throwing off your opponent, because when you switch a formation, the way you play changes and your opponent has to adapt to like your change. Like, say you've been using the 4-2-3-1 for the first half and they've been all over you, they're very accustomed to the way you play. Whereas if you switch to a 4-3-1-2, which is a very high pressured formation, they're not ready to deal with the high pressure. They're not ready to deal with the constant attacks because they haven't adapted to your formation yet, and it can take them time. So they're very vulnerable when you do first switch. Well, that's what I found anyway. You can even see here I was being destroyed in the first half of that game. I was quite lucky to get that last minute goal in the 45th minute, but that guy had all the chances, and when I switched to the 4-3-1-2, everything seemed to change. These two striker formations from kickoff seem to be so overpowered, especially when you have that cam as well. I don't know what it is, like this little triangle here from kickoff is pretty much unstoppable at times, but I still don't understand what it is about the kickoffs. Like, you just can't defend them. Point proven here, because my opponent comes right back from kickoff to score the second goal for his side. Little side note, it's just hit 3 PM here in the UK, and the team of the year forwards have been like revealed. 99 Cristiano Ronaldo, 96 Harry Kane, and a 98 Lionel Messi. Oh gosh. I would like to say that the quality of opponents I came up against this weekend were surprisingly very hard, like probably the hardest I've had. And you're probably wondering what I mean, because I've just hit 36 wins, which is like my best ever, so, surely my opponents can't be hard, right? But I don't know, it's just the quality of the players I played this weekend were just so much higher than usual, It's just because I played well personally and that I had, you know, a good positive attitude. That's probably the only reason I won. But I played about 4 or 5 people from the top 100 of like the rest of world region. The weird thing with me is I'm probably not gonna hit Elite 1 next week. Like, you're probably thinking, well, if you can do it this week, you can do it next week. And it's just not how it is with me. Like, one week I'll get Gold 1, the next I'll get Elite 1, the next I'll get Elite 3, the next I'll get Elite 2. You know, it's never really a fixed rank with me. I've never really been like that. I'm just so inconsistent at times, and I wish I could change that because it really frustrates me. I feel like in order for me to be a top player, I need to, you know, cement a position, like, you know, cement a minimum amount of wins, making that 34 minimum every week. But until I do that, I don't feel like I'm a top player. I feel like I'm a good player, but I don't feel like I'm a top player. On the note of gameplay, I don't feel like it was actually that bad this weekend, surprisingly, especially on the Sunday. Like, I was expecting real heavy gameplay on Thursday afternoon, but I didn't really feel that, and in fact it was quite decent, so I was surprised about that, so props to EA for that. But usually I expect pretty poor gameplay in the daytime, especially on, you know, Saturday and Sunday. That was also probably a big factor of why we did so well this week. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for this video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any videos like this one. Also, comment down in the comment section what your record for this weekend was, whether you are happy with your, you know, result, or whether you wanted it to be better. I mean, obviously people want theirs to be better, but you get what I mean. Also, let me know if you're excited for Team of the Year, whether you're going to be opening any packs, because I'm a bit stuck. I'm in a bit of a position here, because I remember telling people not to open packs for the reason of fixed FIFA, but I feel like that whole issue's fallen through and it will never succeed. So I'm in a bit of a tricky situation because I really want to better my team, because I do have the money to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not been the motivation behind my YouTube channel, but it has given me a bit of money, and I have quite a lot to put into the game if I please. So I'm in a bit of a situation where I'm not sure what to do. But yeah, that's about it for the video, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.